This is a sneak peek of teaching textbooks math. Before we get started looking at the curriculum, I just want to notify you that when compared to Saxon math, Singapore math, or in my experience, any other typical public school math, you're going to find that teaching textbooks is about 1 to 2 years behind those other popular curriculums. So it's going to be very important that you get on the Teaching Textbooks website and take the placement test that they offer. Therefore, we can order you, we can be sure we're ordering you the correct level for your students performing, where your student is performing at. This is still a very popular program for many parents because they like the way that the program is set up with the workbook and the online instruction that they provide. So it's still a very well put together program. We just need to make sure we are getting you guys the correct material. So with that said, let's take a look at Math 5. When you receive teaching textbooks, you will receive a CD-ROM set. This has all the teacher instruction and the workbook where your students will be putting their answers into the computer and having them automatically graded. Here's answer keys for your use if you need them. And then there's the student textbook. In the student textbook, here's a glimpse at what Math 5 will be covering for the year. There are a total of 114 lessons, so I believe that would probably be pretty typical throughout all the grade levels, around that many lessons, and then there are 16 quizzes. So you're looking at doing this every day, but you'll also have some cushion for any review work or any, you can kind of slow down in areas that your student is struggling. Also in the front of the book, it kind of gives you an idea of how to use teaching textbooks. They recommend watching the CD lecture first, then reading the lecture in the workbook, and then working out the problems. And then, of course, you have the grade book online, which I will show you. So we're going to look at Lesson 8 today. And so here's the lecture piece, or the piece that your student will read through. They do recommend watching the CD first, so we're going to start there. I'll give you a little peek at what it will look like on the computer. So I'm going to head us down here. I'm going to be holding this, so I will try and hold it as steady as I can. I apologize if I start to wiggle. So this is what your computer screen will look like. And we're doing Lesson 8 today. See, where am I? There we go. Okay. Lesson 8 today, and we're going to start with the lecture. So I'm going to let you listen to a little bit of the lecture here.
Lesson 8, Adding and Subtracting on Paper. We've been doing a lot of addition and subtraction problems, and so far almost every calculation could be done in our heads. But now it's time to start working problems out on paper, and we'll start with addition. To add a pair of two-digit numbers, all we have to do is line them up vertically and add the columns. So to add 31 and 26, for instance, we first put the numbers over each other, like this, or you can also do it like this. Either way will work, remember, because when we're adding, it doesn't matter which number is first. But next, since the ones are over the ones and the tens are over the tens, we just need to add the columns. What's 1 plus 6?
Okay, within the instruction there will be times that it will ask you to
Good.
Participate.
Now add the 3 and 2. You got it. So the answer is 57. Next, let's do a subtraction. The first step is to put the bigger number over the smaller one. That's always the way it works with subtraction. It's not like addition where the order of the numbers doesn't matter. You always have to put the bigger number on top. Now, all we do is subtract the columns, starting with the ones. Go ahead. What's 5 minus 2? Perfect. Next, we need to subtract the tens. What's 8 minus 4? Exactly. So the final answer is 43. Before we quit, though, let's do one more subtraction. 79 minus 6.
Okay, so that's a glimpse of what the direct instruction will look like, the teacher that's on the CDs. Once the lecture is complete, you go to practice A. Pretty much you're just following all the way down here. And you'll see when you hit practice A.
Practice A. You need to add 77 plus 21.
Okay, so what it's telling you to do here on the screen, it's the same thing when you go over to the student workbook. Let me place it here. So the exact same problem you're going to see on the computer screen is also going to be in the workbook. And what they recommend is that now your student go ahead and do the practice problem A in the workbook, and then take that answer and submit it online. And then once you put in your answer, then it will just automatically tell you yes, you're right, or no, you're not, and then it will take you to the next problem.
Practice B. You need to subtract 45 minus 13.
So 45 minus 13, again, that's the same thing in the workbook. 45 minus 13, they'll put in the answer in the workbook, and then they will place their answer in the screen. If they get the answer wrong, it will also give you a pop-up box as to why the answer is wrong and give you an explanation. There's also...
Practice C. You need to write 70,021,006 using digits.
Time out for a hint.
There it is. There's also places where it says timeout hint. And so the student can go up here, click on the hint.
Here's a hint. Notice that this number has nothing in the millions, 100,000s, hundreds, or tens places.
So it gives the student a hint into what the answer is going to be. Okay, so that's the basic rundown. So really the student just continues to follow this method of looking in their student workbook, and you'll see there's a practice set and then the problem set, and the exact same problems are on the computer. But again, it is important, I think, that they do both. They work it out on the paper and they plug in their answer into the computer. So after they're done with their lesson, then what's nice about this is all your grading is done right here on the computer. So now you can go into the grade book, and like I said, the computer will tell the student right away if they got it right or wrong. But you can enter the grade book and see what lesson they're on, the problems they completed, their score, and there's your grades. There's also a parent grade book as well, so you can make up your own login information or your own password, and so you can also go in and see the answers at any time and make some changes, add users, change your passwords, different things like that. You probably won't use the parent one so much because your student also has the same thing, and most likely you'll be just working off of your student's page. So that is a glimpse at teaching textbooks. If this looks like a program that interests you and you'd like to talk more about it, please give me a call. Star Williams, 503-787-8255. 758-3636.